Excellent. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Welcome to the Wealth Warriors presentation. It's Sunday evening, 10 o'clock in, I don't know why I'm saying in the UK, because I'm in Spain at the moment. So it's 11 o'clock in the evening, Sunday evening. And we do this Zoom call every Sunday evening, 10 o'clock UK time. So welcome, and hopefully you'll, having got through this presentation, you'll understand what Wealth Warriors is, what it's all about, why we're trying to do it. Because none of us wanted to actually do more things in our lives. We're all busy enough, but we wanted some sort of structure because we realized that just doing one thing alone puts us at the mercy of the people we're doing that one thing with. So we want to develop our own system where we can get involved with lots of different things, spread our risk, give ourselves a little bit more security, give ourselves lots of different options. And hopefully you'll see that as we go through the presentation, you'll understand why we're doing that. So I'm going to start the presentation. It's a standard presentation for us this evening. There we go. So let's share the presentation and get the show on the road. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. I don't know if you can see this image. It's Bitcoin versus fiat money, and it is a bit of a war. It's not really portrayed that way, but it is, and it's going to get a lot more serious in the future. I believe that those of us on the side of crypto will actually win in the end because there is a limited life, if you like, for fiat money. Once you have crypto, fiat money will become less and less important and will eventually fade into disuse, I think. Pretty much for everyone, because there are actually countries or the people that print money in the different regions of the world are actually trying to switch over their fiat currency into digital currency. So that should give us some clue of where the world's going, and we can just be there ahead of the game. Sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that because we know a lot about cryptocurrencies and we know a lot of people on these videos and Zoom calls we go on who know a lot about cryptocurrency, we think that everybody does. But the reality is only about just over 3%, about 3.5% of the world's population actually do anything with crypto. And most people don't do very much at all. They just move it around or keep it in a wallet or whatever. So there's still a huge uptake. If you're watching this, you're still not too late to get involved in the crypto revolution. It's really only just started and it's going to get very, very, very good. A lot of people are going to make a lot of money in crypto, and it's my sincere wish that that is what you're going to do if that's what you want. So welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. We're not relying on any other organization to provide for us. We're out there forging our own path, hacking our way through the jungle, doing things the way we want to do them. We're not beholden to somebody else printing our money for us or giving us a handout, giving us a job. Okay, we're doing it for ourselves. So first, there's a disclaimer. Nothing in this presentation is to be taken as financial or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform, it's a community. That's an important point to make. And if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms discussed in this presentation, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose, but also carry out your own due diligence. I spend a lot of time carrying out due diligence, but you need to be confident. Don't just take my word for it. You need to be confident yourself before you put money into these things. So what is the problem with online businesses? I've alluded to it a couple of times in the introduction that we don't want to be controlled by anybody else. We want to have our own security and our own way of doing things. Well, the first problem, of course, when you start looking at online businesses, if you start talking to anybody about online businesses, there are just too many scams. And a scam is a business or an operation that's set up to deliberately take your money away from you. And they look good, they're shiny, and the good news is that if you get in at the very beginning, you can make a lot of money before it goes bust. The bad news is when it goes bust, all the people that you've introduced to it, they're the ones that will lose their money, and they're the ones who then take you off the Christmas card list and stop inviting you to family weddings. Okay, so people lose out. When it's a scam, people lose out. The only way you can not lose out is there's only two ways. One is get in early so you're the one who makes some money. Personally, I find that completely unethical and I won't do that. The second thing is don't get involved. And that's what I do. I spend a lot of time trying to figure out if something's a scam. And if in doubt, don't do it. There's too many businesses out there. You don't have to do everything just because it looks good. If you can't prove that it's good, don't do it. That's my personal watchword. So there are too many scams out there, and the operation normally goes like, the first people in are given, they get this great deal. They earn 2% a day or 5% a week, whatever it is, on their money. No problems with withdrawing because they're the people that are going to go out and recruit a small army of other people. Oh, trust me, I've been making withdrawals. Look, I've made £1,000 in 5 days, whatever it is, $1,000 in 5 days. Okay, and so their friends, neighbours, and relatives get in. And there's a certain point at which the people running the scam say, right, we've got enough money now in the pot. We're gonna run away and shut it all down. And that's exactly what they do. It's designed deliberately to take your money from you. And the problem is they all look good. They all look really, really good. You got to dig to find out what's wrong with them. But there's another problem, and that problem is that there are some businesses that are quite legitimate. They're people that have got a good intention. They've got a business idea that they think is going to work. And but the problem is most people who start up businesses, online businesses or offline, don't know how to run a business. And so you see it in your own high street near where you live. There are some shops there who they used to be there 5 years ago. They're not there now. Okay, lots of businesses go bust, and in fact, there's a statistic that says 75% of businesses started up right now won't last 5 years. So, they certainly won't break even. They certainly won't make any money. So that's bad news for us because if one of these things come along, we go, oh, I believe this guy. He's got good intentions. I've met him before. I know his daughter. I'm godfather to his daughter or whatever it is. I'm going to put this money in. Okay. You don't know if the guy knows how to run a business, and there's so many of them. They just don't. They haven't got the infrastructure, and you see, when people are starting up a business, they pay someone like me as a consultant to come in and show them all the things they need to do in order to set their business up so that it can run effectively and properly. Okay. And most people starting an online business don't bother doing that. They don't even know to do it. They probably can't afford to do it. And of course, they think, well, my startup costs are very low. I just need a laptop and and a couple of wallets and this great idea. And that's fine. But very soon things will go wrong, and most of those businesses fail within 5 years. Not because they're scams, it's just they're poorly run. And then there's a third problem, and that is that they're not scams. They don't go bust, but they do get shut down by regulators and government departments for lots of different reasons. I've seen regulators shut down perfectly legitimate businesses that aren't doing anything wrong, but somebody expected one thing and they got something else. And of course, then they complain to their regulators, and the regulators say, well, I've got this business somebody's complained about. It's to do with crypto, which I don't really understand. I don't really understand this business model, but it looks a bit like this other thing that was shut down 2 years ago, or it looks a little bit like this type of scheme or that type of scheme. So we're going to shut it down anyway. They don't care if it's legitimate. All they care about is that they've had these complaints and they want to show that they are in charge of the internet, which of course they're not. So I've seen that so many times. It's really, really frustrating. People that have perfectly good businesses get sucked into this system, if you like. And most people at that stage, there are a couple of notable examples. They stuck it out. They stuck the course. They got their lawyers on the case, and it took them, millions and millions of dollars in legal fees and 5 years out of their life. But eventually, they won the case, and the regulator said, "Yes, sorry, we were wrong. Go ahead, carry on running your business." Okay, so yeah, thanks a bunch, mate. But most people just say, if that's what it's going to take, I don't need the hassle. Life's too short, and they shut up shop and go. And that happens so many times. It's almost a proverb. So they're the problems with online businesses. That's why we're doing this. That's why we have wealth warriors. That's why we go to all the trouble of learning how this works and pulling it all together in the way that we do. So it doesn't matter how much money you make in online businesses, you cannot become truly free if you don't have a good balance of different. No one business will give you everything you need to be financially free and to lead a time and money free existence to live a life of abundance. No one platform will give you that. And even if it can, you can't rely on any one platform. You need to do this properly. And that's what we spent the time developing over the last 2 years or so. That's what we've been developing. So what can we do about it? Well, we are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past if we don't learn from them. But collectively, we can learn from them. We can help most of us to avoid the pitfalls of the industry. We're not going to avoid all the pitfalls. We still get stung once in a while, but we only lose $100 here and there. We don't lose our pension fund. We don't lose the house that we've been buying for the last 30 years. Okay, if we're trying out something and it doesn't work, I lose $100. Most of you won't, because I won't release it to everybody until I'm pretty sure that we know what we're doing. Okay, so collectively we can help most of us avoid the pitfalls, and we're safer together. This is the whole point. This is the foundation, if you like, the watchword of the whole thing is we have time. We don't have to get into something. Okay, rewind. The reason people get into these plans and schemes and all sorts of other things is because and then they put all of their money in. They sell all their gold and put that money in. They take their rainy day fund and put all that in. There's a reason why we do that. The biggest reason is greed, but there's also this pressure put about by the industry, by the gurus in the industry, by the people who stand to make a lot of money from that particular platform. And what they want you to do is put a lot of money in, get started as big as you can, as quick as you can, because then they make money. But of course, if things go wrong, you've lost your pension fund or your house. Well, that's just unfortunate. That's the price you pay. So part of it is greed, and part of it is this expectation that you've got to get in first, and you've got to get in as big as you can. Okay, and the reason we've developed Wealth Warriors is because we don't want people doing that. There's no need to. If you've got the right platforms, you don't have to get in big. You can get in for $100 here, a couple of $100, $1,000. Okay, it's not gonna bankrupt you if you lose $1,000 once in a while. Okay, but it will bankrupt you if you lose your pension fund this year and you lose your house next year. Okay, and then you've got to pay for the divorce the year after having lost your pension fund and your house. Okay, so we don't, because we have safety, we have time to start small and build big. So let's talk about why we do this. That's the background to the reasoning why it exists. But the benefits of Wealth Warriors is, one, you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again. Now, that's an easy thing to sell. When I'm telling my friends about this, I say, look, I know you've lost some money and things. We've developed a system where you will never lose all of your money to a scammer again. In fact, a lot of these platforms that we're working with now are tried and tested, and you're not going to lose money with them. Benefit two, you can protect your permanent network of contacts, and that's the biggest reason most people don't introduce other people to an online business, even though there are commissions to be had from it. And if you think about it logically, if you get into something where you can make a lot of money, let's suppose you can retire in 4 years, of course you should tell all of your friends and family and neighbors and work colleagues about it. You want them to make a lot of money so they can retire in 4 years. Well, why don't we? Because we're afraid that if something goes wrong, we're going to lose our friends and family and work colleagues, and they won't talk to us again, and they'll hate us. And worse than that, we'll hate ourselves because we believe that it was our fault they lost all their money. That you can argue either way on that, but that's just how we feel. Okay, with Wealth Warriors, we can protect your permanent network of contacts. Benefit three, you can build future business much faster with far more profit. If you get involved in one platform, you're starting at the bottom. You've got to introduce people and build. You get into another platform, you're starting at the bottom. You've got to start at the bottom, start with nothing and build. With Wealth Warriors, you don't need to do that. What we do is we capitalize on work you've done in the past and pump that work into new platforms. If you're smart, that's what you'll do. Benefit four, you can build one business and you can grow all of the businesses. Very, very simply, you don't have to grow 5 businesses, you can grow one business. And all 5 businesses, by associating your people with Wealth Warriors, all 5 businesses will grow below you, but almost for no effort on your part. Benefit 5, you can start small and build big over a long period of time. And that's that alone is just such a tremendous benefit. Because normally with a platform, if you start small and you want to build it big, it takes you many, many, many years to start with $100 and end up with a retirable income of, I don't know, $100,000 a year, for example. Okay, with most platforms, it takes a long time to get to that position. Benefit 6, recoup loans, mortgages, and recent expenditures. So money you've already spent over the last 2 or 3 years, you can get all that back. Money you've spent out on mortgage payments, you can get all that back. Money you've spent on the mortgage itself, you can get all that back. Any loans you've had for cars and anything else, holidays maybe, get all that money back. Okay, all the money that left your bank account over the last 3 years, you can claim that back, regardless of why it left your bank account. It could be a loan payment, it could have been cash. You took money out for cash, you paid for a holiday, you bought a car. Okay, you get all of that money back again. Takes some believing, but one of our platforms does that. Benefit 7 is that you can become free, wealthy, and live an abundant life. And you can do that by receiving the benefits, all of these 6 benefits. The total net effect is that you become free from all control, government control, your bank control. Just nothing controls your life anymore, just you. And that's what we're aiming at. That's what we want. We want to be free to live our life on our terms, not be dictated to by anybody else, whether it's the World Economic Forum, your government, my government, the bank. It doesn't matter who's trying to control me. I don't want that. I'm a big boy. I can look after my own life. Thank you very much. Leave me alone. Okay, so that's the benefits of Wealth Warriors. And I do get a little bit passionate about them because they're not available anywhere else, which is why we developed Wealth Warriors. Those things are not available anywhere else. So I'm going to show you an illustration of how it works. I'm going to get through it fairly quickly because you'll get the hang of it very quickly. In order for this illustration to work, I need to make some assumptions, as you do with all illustrations. So Wealth Warriors deals with 4 platforms. That's not true anymore. We deal with 5 platforms, but it doesn't matter. This is just an illustration. You have 10 people in each platform, and each of those platforms is earning you $1,000 per month. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Platform 1, this is you. You have 10 people in your team. You've introduced 3 people. You've introduced Alan, Belle, and Chris, and they've introduced some of their friends. And the net result is, based on the volume of whatever it is platform 1 is doing, your income is $1,000 per month. So let's just move that out of the way. I'm sure you understand that. It doesn't matter what the mechanics is of how the money is shared out, but you're just earning $1,000 a month. So we'll move that out of the way because we're going to make room for platform 2. And what you'll notice about platform 2 is that we've introduced Alan, Belle, and Chris. Okay, the same people have gone in the same positions in platform 2 that went in platform 1. Now it's not a difficult thing to do once you're organised, and we'll show you how to get that organised. But the benefit is that you've got a good relationship with these people, so you introduce them to platform 2. What that means now is your income has gone up to $2,000 per month. So let's just move that out of the way, and we'll introduce platform 3. And you're not going to believe it, but platform 3, you've introduced the same people in the same positions in platform 3. So now your income has gone up to $3,000 per month. So let's just move that out of the way, and you're not going to believe it. We're going to introduce platform 4, exactly the same people in exactly the same positions. And so your income now is $4,000 per month. So we put that there, and it's going to carry on now. It's going to run like that for weeks and months and years, hopefully. The reality is that some of your people will bring other people into either platform 1, 2, 3, or 4. Once they're involved in platform 1, 2, 3, or 4, then they get introduced to Wealth Warriors, and we show them the other platforms. You don't have to show them all the platforms. Okay, it's part of this all happens by osmosis. You bring them along to these Zoom calls, or show them this video, and they will get the message that yes, they joined you in platform 3, but you also have an offering for platform 1, 2, and 4. So it runs along like this now for months. And so that's assuming that no more people join and we don't get any more platforms. So it just stays like that. But now all of a sudden something happens to platform 4. I don't know what happens to platform 4. It could be that the people running that company decide they don't want to do it anymore. The regulators might eventually have got to them and shut them down. In one case, I know somebody who got incredibly ill, and they decided that they were going to, the whole business was based on them. is one of the things we look out for now. We see that now as a weakness, um, weakness in their business model. But he was getting ill and he said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he shut up shop. He paid everybody the money that they were meant to get, but he shut it up so you couldn't rely on your income anymore. So platform 4 has gone. Your income has dropped to $3,000 per month. But when a platform fails or is taken away for whatever reason, normally the people you've introduced to that don't like you anymore. They've lost money. Generally, in these situations, they would have lost money. Okay, and but in this case, you don't lose any friends because you're still in platforms 1, 2, and 3 with the same people. So they don't dislike you. Everybody's aware of the fact that platform 4 has gone. Everybody's taken a little bit of a hit, but we still have the same people in the same positions in platforms 1, 2, and 3. So now my job is to go out and find platform 5. And when we do find platform 5, quick as a flash, you put the same people in the same positions within platform 5. So your income then goes back up to $4,000 per month. That's exciting. There's been no damage done, a little bit of a backward step, but now we're moving forward again. So that's how it works. And we get all of those benefits from building a business like that. So the rules, you must follow the rules if you want the benefits of Wealth Warriors. And I'm not being dictatorial. I'm just saying if you don't follow the rules, you'll find that this won't work because this is based on your own personal ability to get people to do the same things you're doing. It's based on your duplicability. And if you don't follow the rules, you won't duplicate what you're being taught, and therefore your people won't duplicate what you're doing. You'll be doing your own thing, they'll be doing their own thing, and it'll be a complete waste of time, any of you being involved in Wealth Warriors, because you won't get the benefits that I talked about just now. They just won't happen for you because you're doing your own thing. So the first thing is don't just sign up in any other platform that comes along. If it's a good platform, we will adopt it at some point. Lots of people give me lots of platforms to look at, and most of them aren't worth the trouble. It takes me the most it would take me is a couple of days to analyze a business right down to the nuts and bolts. Most I can figure out what's going on in about an hour, and some of them it takes me a lot less than that. So if it's good, we'll get to it at some point. Now, bear in mind, there's this idea around in the internet, or in the Ethernet, I should say, that people say, well, get in first, get the first mover advantage, make more money. Okay, and that will completely destroy your Wealth Warriors community if you do that, and if the people that you've introduced do that. If everybody's running around doing their own thing, okay, this thing won't work for you. There's never an urgency. If there's an urgency to get in, if only the first people getting in are going to make money, we won't do it, because we want to be able to offer, when we've got a business platform, we want to be able to offer that platform to people in a few weeks, in a few months, in a few years. We want to be working with it in 10 years, 15, 20 years time. Okay, so if it's only going to work if you get in now and get the early bird advantage, or the first mover advantage, or whatever they want to call it, then it doesn't work. So therefore, we're not going to do it. Okay, so it's just there's never an urgency to be the first one in. And in fact, with a lot of things, there's a lot of wisdom in just sitting back, let other people get in, let other people sort out things that are going to go wrong, and then when it's all working smoothly, then we'll get involved. And that's the same with pretty much all technological advancements. Let other people go through the pain of having things that don't work properly, and then when it's working properly, you do it. So that's the biggest one. If you do this, if you don't do rule 1, then you won't have a Wealth Warriors business. It just won't work for you. So you decide you want to be in Wealth Warriors, you do sign up in all the platforms we adopt. And people often say, well, I'll look at that platform and see if I want to do it. That's fine. Individual people can do that. But if somebody's committed to the principles of what we're teaching in Wealth Warriors, there's no need to do that. We wouldn't be adopting a platform if it wasn't going to be, if it wasn't going to be good for you, good for me, good for the community at large. So do sign up in all the platforms we adopt, and you'll see the criteria for the platforms in a minute. Do maintain lines of sponsorship across all platforms. So as soon as you have registered in a new platform, get your referral link out to all the people on your front line, all of the people that you refer. I'll be talking about something in a minute that it might be on this video, but it's a new development that's going to help us keep track of this. So much better than we are. And then, of course, teach your people to do the same as you're doing. And do support your own people by learning a little bit about all of the platforms. You don't need to be an expert. And this is great for most of us. We don't want to learn all the details of a platform. We don't need all of that information, or we just need some basic information about each of the platforms we're involved in. So the rules are to ensure that you get security of income, you build your permanent network, you become wealthy and live an abundant life. That's why we have the rules. And if you follow the rules, then that's what you'll get. Being community centric means you put the community first, not yourself. And this is a good example of putting yourself first is to say, regardless of the fact I'm involved in Wealth Warriors, there's this new platform. I want to be the first one in, and then I'll get everybody else in. Okay, that's putting yourself first. Your community will wither on the vine if you do that. Your Wealth Warriors community. Remember, platforms come and go. And I've seen people not in this system. I did develop something else a few years ago, and not online either. But yeah, this person thought they would just go and do their own thing, and the one thing they tried on their own didn't work, and so they completely destroyed their livelihood, literally for nothing. The one thing that they were clinging to, they just destroyed it completely. So, just be aware. So criteria, what do we look at to make sure that a platform is good for us? Well, it must be available everywhere. If it's not available everywhere, we can't maintain lines of sponsorship everywhere, and so we just don't even look any further than that. It must have a unilevel compensation plan. If the payment system is based on the strongest leg and the weakest leg, and 10% of that and 50% of that, rubbish. We don't want that. We want a unilevel compensation plan. It just means you get paid for the work you do. All these other things where you've got to have a stronger leg and 40% of that just means the company doesn't want to pay you for all the work you've done. They want to put this structure in place where they keep more of the profit that you've created. It also means that if it's not a unilevel compensation plan, it means that we can't maintain lines of sponsorship within that plan, within that compensation plan. People must be able to join for free. Okay, not necessarily earn money for free, but sometimes you can join for free and pass out your referral link, and other people join and earn money. Later, when you can fund that project, then you go back and put $100 in the pot. Okay, so you must be able to join for free or get involved in a passive income program for around about $100. And the platforms we've got, they're all around about $100. There's one that's about $200, but that's kind of a different thing. And in that one, all of the money is under your control anyway. So you can just take it all out if you want to. So the reason we have these three criteria initially is it means we can maintain the lines of sponsorship. Number 4, it must be based on real world applications, not just money games or shell games or empty promises or shiny things that at some point is going to go bust. Sometimes they're not easy to spot, but we get there eventually. And if in doubt, don't. We must be able to verify the company's legal status. Now, with some of the platforms we've got, you can't do that because it's a smart contract. And most people say, smart contracts, they're absolutely solid. They can't be altered. They're all on the blockchain. Well, I know enough about coding to understand that if you've written into the coding of a smart contract that somebody can have access to it to change it, then you can't verify. So you can't, with any degree of legitimacy, say it can't be changed. I could write a smart contract that could be changed if I wanted to. I'm not going to, obviously. So we've got to assume that most people operate in this space in good faith. And so smart contracts are good, but they're not as good as knowing about the company behind the business. If you didn't follow all that, don't worry about it. I'm trying to talk fast. If we can, we want to find out a lot about the company, meet the CEO or the owner. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. And sometimes I look at these compensation plans and I think these people are just trying to offer us lots of money so we get excited and we jump in, but it's not viable. It's not sustainable. Nobody can pay that amount of money and guarantee that amount of money on a regular basis. And also it must be legal and ethical and moral. We don't want people saying within Wealth Warriors, we don't want some of your people saying, well, I can't get in that project with you because it's to do with gambling or money lending or whatever it is. Okay, so we want everybody to be able to get involved. And again, we've said no to quite a number of platforms who are actually operating in that space, sports betting and this sort of thing. So we adopt these criteria or stick to these criteria fairly strictly. So what platforms are we dealing with? There's one called Matrix Freedom. I'm not going to go through a huge amount of what these platforms are. I'm going to do a presentation, or I did a presentation last Sunday that's available on YouTube, and I spent 10 or 15 minutes on each of these different businesses. Plus I did some other stuff. And normally I do this meeting for the platforms only on a Wednesday, 10 o'clock UK time. I'm not doing it this coming Wednesday, so I'll be getting ready to say goodbye to Spain and travel back home, but I will do it the following Wednesday. We'll do a big update on all the different platforms. So here we are, 2 minutes on all the different platforms. Matrix Freedom is part of the freedom movement. You can recoup your recent expenditures and create your own currency. It's not unlimited, but it's a lot of money. So you want to look into that. And if you like it, pay some money. You have to pay up front for the services. And you can also become an affiliate. And when somebody pays up front for their services, you get a small commission based on what services they've ordered. Okay, so you can earn a little bit of money. You also make a little bit of profit on the back end when they've recouped all their money. But this is worth doing just for your own benefit, claim back money that you've spent from other things. Bit Harvest is a great business. You purchase electronic devices that earn you a passive income every day, and that passive income is to do with Bitcoin mining, and so you get paid in Bitcoin every single day. Again, I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, just a good solid business. Once you purchase that electronic device, it works for you forever. There's a lot of businesses out there where you pay some money and you get something, and that thing you can only earn a certain number of multiples of whatever that thing is. Okay, with this device, it just continues to pay you forever. We think they're still going to be mining Bitcoin in 2143, I think. Bitcoin is predicted to be all mined out. All 21 million Bitcoin will have been mined by then. Okay, so you're probably not gonna live to see that. I don't know for sure. There's a lot of good medical breakthroughs happening at the moment, so you might, but you're going to be earning money from your Bitcoin boosters for a long time, and probably by then they'll have changed it to something else, like you'll be earning off of the fees on the blockchain, not the mining. Cryptex is a great business. I've never seen anything as smart as this, and I regret that I didn't do more sooner with Cryptex. I just got in and chucked in the smallest amount that I could and sat back and watched to see what happened. Did a bit of research and realized I'd been foolish and I could actually afford to spend a little bit more money on this. So I regret having not done more sooner. But basically, it costs $100 to get to get a smart contract, and it will return to you either. Sorry, this is out of date a little bit. I didn't realize that. You can earn a huge return of 21,000% over 2 years, 35,000% over 3 years, and more over 5 years and 7 years. Okay, it's a massive return. The thing that most people don't like is 2 years. To wait 2 years for your money is a long time. To wait 3 years for money is a long time. But if you put $100 in and it doesn't work, well, you've lost $100. But if it does work, boy, that's good news. So the risk of the 2 years or 3 years being a long time is balanced out by the fact it's only $100. So it's up to you. But it's a great business, and we, as Wealth Warriors, we support that. There's a trading bot called Veralio that we were instrumental in beta testing, and even now they're still tweaking it and getting it better than it is. But this is one that's going to cost you $200 to get in, and you need $100 in your Veralio account to pay for the service, and then you need to fund your exchange account, $5,000 to trade with. Now we have an agreement with Veralio that anybody getting involved from this group will only so we can get involved for as little as $100 in our exchange account. Now, bear in mind, The money in our exchange account is ours. It's nothing to do with Veralio. It's between you and Binance, or you and Kraken, or you and crypto.com, wherever you keep, whatever exchange you keep your money in. Okay, so it's your money, it's under your complete control. So it doesn't matter how much you have in there, it's not at risk. It's only at risk if you lose money through the trading. So our agreement with Veralio is we can start with $100 in our trading account, but we have sort of an unwritten agreement that we will leave our profits to accrue to the point where we have a trading fund of $5,000 before we start withdrawing. It's not hard and fast. Nobody can force you to do anything with your money. It's just a good faith promise that I made to Veralio to allow us to get started with $100. So if you would just respect that, and if you can leave your account to grow to $5,000, that will be in the spirit of what we've agreed. And face it, if you've got the option, you want to be earning money on $5,000 rather than earning money on $100, don't you? It just makes sense. If you had the choice, if it didn't cost you anything, but you could have a $5,000 trading account or a $100 trading account, it would make sense to have $5,000. So that's something we should be aiming at to allow our account to grow. Okay, e-estate is a new addition to Wealth Warriors. And e-estate is to do with tokenized, well, I've written it on the screen. You can purchase a share of tokenized real estate for daily profits, and automatic compounding of profits, and it produce impressive long-term income. So you can get involved for as little as $100, or depending on which properties you want, of course, excuse me, the different properties cost you different amounts of money to get involved, whether it's houses or apartments or commercial, or different types of property. So it costs you more money, but you also make a greater return on the bigger properties. Excuse me. Team building. All of the above adopted platforms have programs for additional rewards for taking part in team building activities. This is optional, does not affect your ability to earn passively from these platforms. Okay, so they all have a team building component. So this is one of the things that I look for, is I want people to be able to earn passively, because some people are adamant they want to be earning passively and not introduce other people. But some people realize that if you're involved in something and you make good money, you will tell a few people about it. So we want to be rewarded for that team building. And they all have that component as well. So our communications, we run a Telegram group. So make sure your upline adds you to that group so you can keep up to date with changes. We hold this Zoom call every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Attend yourself, bring new people, make sure your people attend. It's a shortcut to fast growth, because you can introduce them to the platform you like the best, whether you like BitHarvest or Cryptex or Veralio, the one that you're talking about all the time to people. You get them involved in that and bring them along to this Zoom call, or send them this video. And this video will explain to them, or I'll explain to them on this call, why they should now go and look at the other platforms we've got involved with Wealth Warriors. So you do the work in one of your businesses, and they get introduced to all the other businesses. So you might introduce somebody to BitHarvest, but that person sees Cryptex and says, wow, this is great, I'm going to spend my time building Cryptex. And the person they introduce might be interested in Veralio. So you don't have to do all that work. You don't have to split yourself. Wealth Warriors, these businesses are adopted because we want to we want the best return for very little time. Well, Wealth Warriors is actually a way of multiplying that. So with Cryptex, you spend 5 minutes buying a contract, and you come back in 2 years and get the money. That's such little work to do. It's unbelievable. Wealth Warriors can help you do even less work by taking that effort you put into one business and spread it across all the other businesses. So do have a little bit of knowledge about the different platforms. There are Zoom calls for all of the platforms. Their schedules published in the Telegram group. Take your people with you. And for Matrix Freedom, once you've joined, work your way through the webinars and books, the ebooks at your own pace, but get the first roadmap completed as soon as possible. And there's somebody on the call now who was telling me they did that in a few hours last week or the week before. So it takes a little bit of application, but it's worth it. It's worth it, because With Matrix Freedom, just to warn you, it's more of an education system than it is. They don't do it for you. You've got to do it for yourself, but they will talk you through it. They'll teach you everything you know in order to become financially free and reclaim all this money that you've spent out in the past. So you've got to do it, but you've got to do it right. So they'll teach you, but it requires effort on your part. So what to do now? Get the referral links for all the platforms from the person who invited you to this presentation or sent you this video. Register in all the opportunities and make a note of all of your referral links. And I should warn you as well that with e-estate, you don't get a referral link automatically. You have to go through a little process. They call them agents. You need to request to become an agent. You've got to pay $9 a month as a subscription. Okay, you're going to go through, answer a load of questions, fill in some information about yourself and this sort of thing, and then you get awarded the status of agent. Then you get a referral link. With Matrix Freedom, you don't become an affiliate. Well, in fact, it's not called an affiliate. It's called, so it's not an ambassador, it's an advocate. You don't get that automatically. Once you're registered as a member, you need to request to become an advocate and also an advocate organizer. So if you want to have build a really big referral business, then you want a business where you've got advocates in your group and you've also got members in your team. With Veralio, you don't get to be an affiliate automatically. Once you're registered, there's a menu option. Go there and select to become an affiliate. You request to become an affiliate and they'll tick a box and say, yes, that's fine. You will then have an affiliate link on your referral page. Okay, with BitHarvest, you get a referral link automatically. And with Cryptex, you get a referral link automatically. Pass these links on to your existing frontline members or to people you invite to see this presentation and make a minimum payment into all the opportunities if you can. If you can't do that, then go for the one that interests you the most. Come back and fill in the others later. But just because you don't fund it now doesn't mean you don't register now. Register straight away and then come back and fund them when you can. And people say, well, if people get in the group and they buy contracts below me and I haven't got a contract myself, will I receive commissions? No, you won't. But but that's no reason to stop them from getting in and making money. Okay, so later when you can afford it, you fund your business and then you start getting commissions from that point on. Don't hold other people up just because you don't have the money yourself. It's kind of a strange way of looking at it, but if you think about it, mine's the right way of thinking about it. We don't want to be holding other people up. We want them to be moving on and succeeding. And again, this goes back to what I said about look after the community first, not yourself first. Ask your introducer to be added to the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. There's a number of administrators, and so the person who's introduced you will be able to find out who those admins are for that group and add you. Just approach them. In order to be added to the group, what you need to do is to have joined at least one of the platforms and funded at least one of the platforms. So and then the admin may ask to see proof of the fact that you bought a booster, you bought a contract, whatever it is you've done, and then they'll add you to the group. The group is not for general chat, general discussion about anything really. It's for passing information. We don't want people in there trying to spam you and scam you and this sort of thing. As soon as I see any of those, I get rid of them. And if I can find out who introduced them, I get rid of them as well. We just don't want people like that around. As new platforms are added, make sure to get the referral link from your upline and join as quickly as possible. And this works really well. I've had people phoning up and nagging their upline saying, come on, I want your referral link, get on and sign up quickly. Or sometimes they phone me and say, can you get so-and-so to sign up? I want their link. Okay, so do things as quickly as you can. Then pass your referral link to existing team. Get on a presentation for that new platform as quickly as possible. So that's when we add a new platform. Grow your Wealth Warriors community by bringing more people to the Wealth Warriors calls and by sharing this video from YouTube. You only have to promote the one or two platforms you're excited about. And I've covered this a couple of times now. Build one platform and have 5 or more platforms grow below you. There will soon be a registration system for Wealth Warriors. Part of that system will include a pre-made customizable landing page. So this is something I've been working on. I've fleshed it out in terms of a spec that I've passed to a developer. And what we're going to do is have a website where you go, or a platform where you go and you actually register in Wealth Warriors. And then you'll have a landing page, and you'll have a referral link, so you can give that out to people, and they register in Wealth Warriors as well. You'll be able to keep track of all of your members. You'll be able to keep track of who's registered in which platforms. Okay, and you'll be able to send emails to people within the Wealth Warriors system. You'll be able to pull up a list, for example, a list of all the people that are in your Wealth Warriors group who haven't yet funded their BitHarvest account, okay, or a list of people who are with you in Wealth Warriors, but they haven't yet registered in Cryptex. Okay, so you'll be able to pull up a list, push a button, send an email to all of those people all in one go. Just say, hi, just noticed, you're in Wealth Warriors, you haven't done this. Do you know how to do it? Get back to me. Here's a video, whatever it is you want to say to them. Okay, I'm going to make it very, very easy, because I think that's the thing that's been missing with Wealth Warriors is our communication. Those of us who want to communicate well, there's a lot of people who are technically they're in Wealth Warriors. They look at all the posts I send. They read the emails I send them, but they don't engage with us. And I think that we can do better if we have a good platform. We can do better at building Wealth Warriors, which in turn will build the other platforms, which in turn will build everybody's personal and generational wealth. So we're working on that. It's going to be a few weeks before it happens, but I don't know if I'm excited about that. I think I see it as it's going to be a lot of work for me, and an added expense, but I think it's going to really benefit Wealth Warriors as an organisation, as a community. You can get a Cryptex landing page by taking this link, which is available in your there's a page about all the information to help you build Cryptex. Okay, you can get this link, and you replace at the end where it says your wallet ID, and you put your Cryptex wallet number there. It begins with a C, and you'll see it at the top of the page after you've registered in Cryptex. And then within eEstate, there's a pre-made customizable landing page available to you in your eEstate business. You can modify it. You can actually overwrite, and this is something that we're going to do with Wealth Warriors as well. You'll be able to overwrite your landing page links and videos and excuse me, and the description. And so that's what you can do with eEstate. And I pulled it apart a little bit earlier today, and it works really, really well. When you send that to somebody, although they've got the option to go and look at lots of other information, if they then try and register, it will register with your referral link in it. So I'm quite happy to promote that. Marketing materials, chat groups, PDF documents, videos, prospecting scripts, introduction emails, YouTube channels, a whole lot more can be found here. For BitHarvest, there's a Telegram group called BitHarvest Info Group. For Cryptex, there's a boards page. It looks a bit complicated, but it's there. And boards is basically a system where people collaborate on different projects from all over the world. So if you've got different programmers all in the same company, they're all working on the same project from different parts of the world. And one will post a PDF document, one will post a presentation, one will post a video, one will post a spreadsheet. Okay, and it's all in the same board. And that's what's happened with Cryptex. Somebody's put together this Cryptex page in boards, and you've got access to PDF documents, images, emails, and just so much other stuff. Links to chat groups and all sorts of stuff. So you can go there and get that information. In Matrix Freedom, there's a complete website dedicated to people who are not yet members called matrixfreedom.org. And matrixfreedom.org has one particular section called How It Works. And it's a series of I think it's about 45 now or 50 different videos. They're all 10 minutes long. That's the selling point. They're all 10 minutes long. So it might be, for example, bank payment recoupment in 10 minutes, how it works in 10 minutes, mortgage recoupment, how it works in 10 minutes. So that sort of thing. So if you want to find out about it, or you want to show somebody else it, then that's where to go, just to get the short, sharp information. Veralio has a trusted advisor system available. So somebody can click a link in Veralio and say, I want a trusted advisor to come and work with me on this, join me over Zoom or AnyDesk or whatever. And you can say, yeah, I can do that. It'll cost you $100. Let's get together. And so they'll pay you $100 and you go and help them sort their system out. So it's voluntary. You don't have to do that at the moment. In the whole of Veralio, there's only about 5 trusted advisors. If you think that's something you want to do, then let me know. We need to be sure that you're confident with playing around with different exchanges, different API keys, and so on, and getting the trade bots working in Veralio. But I'm sure some of you are capable of that. If you want to, drop me a line and I'll pass your details on. So a quick reminder then about all of this. We're building a solid foundation on which we can base our financial futures. We only work with companies that are in it for the long term. And we only work with companies that are above board. And I've said a couple of times, I'll say it again, if in doubt, don't. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income, whatever that asset is, whether it's a lot of boosters, whether it's a lot of contracts, whether it's a large trading account, whether it's a large e-estate portfolio. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is, we want a large income. So we start small, build big, and get that large income from having a large asset. Only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are even considered, and we apply our rules to this industry to achieve our outcomes. We don't want to be at the mercy of any one company, any one platform, any one guru, any one leader. Okay, we just want to, we know what we want, and we just heads down, get out there and do things the way we want to do them, because we know it's going to produce the results that we're looking for. Finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. So do not share your password or other credentials with anyone about your the different sites you're involved with. Where it's available, set up your 2FA on your accounts. And if you don't know what this is or how to do it, Google 2FA. And I'll just take a few seconds to explain why I'm so hot on 2FA, is because all of the platforms provide username and password type security, but how many platforms worldwide, government departments, big corporations, they've all been hacked. Okay, and all these usernames and passwords get out there into the ether, and that means that the money that you have in those accounts are at risk. Your only protection that you have, that you put in place, see, the other protection is put in place by the company, but the only protection that you have that you put in place is your 2FA. It doesn't have to be Google. There's lots of different lots of different authenticator apps out there, but set up 2FA because it's the security that you control. It's your last line of defense. And even if somebody does hack your account without your 2FA, without your authentication code, then they can't take your money. So it's important. Be a big boy about it, or a big girl, and take care of your own security. Back up your passwords and your 2FA codes in a secure location. Write them down, keep them safe. If you've got a safe, put it in the safe. Make sure the executors of your will, or your beneficiaries, or your power of attorney, or your living will, whatever different system you have in place, make sure they have access to this information in the event of your death. Personally, I've written out, on my computer, there's a text document that goes through all the details of what to do on each of the platforms, how to go there and take money out, how to move money around, move it here, take it out on this Visa card, and so on. And I've also printed that off and put it in the safe. So for me, the pain in the ass of that is you've got to keep doing it. Every time you add a new platform, you've got to redo that. Or when things change, you've got to redo that. So that's it. Welcome to Wealth Warriors. We are financial freedom fighters. We're doing this our way, not the way anybody else is telling us to do it. So get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred you to this video. They're ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. So I'm going to stop the sharing. We'll go back to the room. I'm going to switch off the recording any second now. But before I do, I'm just going to say, so thank you so much for your attention. If you've watched the video this far, well done. And those of you that are still on the call, Nice, thank you so much for your time and attention. I do feel privileged. I do feel honoured that you joined me on these calls. So thank you very much. And don't forget, we will do the same thing again next Sunday, 10 o'clock UK time. I'll look forward to seeing you all then. God bless. Bye.
I want to see you win. I want to see you absolutely smash every single dream you have. I want to see you overcome all of the barriers you face, and I want to see you succeed. I'm your biggest fan, your top supporter, and I'll be with you every single step of the way. You're destined for greatness, with or without me, and I want to see you achieve. Your potential is limitless, and your determination is inspiring. Keep striving for your goals, and I'll continue to cheer you on.